Viewer discretion is advised.
All right. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where two friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
We sure do.
This empty husk is Amanda.
And this one over here is Lucy.
Isn't she gorgeous? There she is.
You hear my death rattle?
Mount Rose American teen princess. Look at her. Doesn't she look fun? I did hear your death rattle. It is sounding better, though.
Oh my God.
Lucy's
I
house
sound
was,
and feel so much better than I did.
Yeah, your house was overcome with the flu. At least it wasn't hand, foot, and mouth this time. Hoof and mouth.
Yeah. That was about a year ago. That was exactly a year ago when we had a hand, foot, and mouth.
You had a situation, and it happened again under different viruses. And look at you. You're still coming out alive.
And glowing.
And glowing. Absolutely glowing. You look gorgeous in that red turtleneck.
Thanks.
I love it. I'm realizing I am dressed head to toe in quince right now.
Good.
I'm telling you. Not an ad. I just am noticing it.
We're quince simps.
Yep. We simp for quince. There's a freebie for you. Anyway, yes, we're here. We're like everyone with a shred of humanity left. We're struggling, but we're making it work. Every day we wake up to a new horror, a new discovery, this company that we've worked with, these people, are connected to these people, and we're trying to navigate it, and we're trying to figure it all out.
It's a complicated web. And everyone is complicit.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best
we can.
can.
Just keep ourselves also fed and sheltered.
Also, I feel like the last handful of episodes, this one included, have been really triggering.
On the note, my whole segment is the fan pick case, which we'll get to it. And I have not yet come out of my Epstein K-hole, and it was, I'm seeing.
It's a J-hole.
It's a J-hole. I'm in a J-E hole, and it just colors everything. Like, I feel like it is shattering me in ways that I hadn't experienced before, but also in ways that I have experienced before. Like, I feel similarly dysregulated to what I actually started learning about white supremacy. And it was like, wait, what? It's Manon. It's everywhere. It's in everything. And then, once you have that baseline of understanding, these things aren't quite as earth shattering because you know that they were possible, but reading the details is so wild. And then that has also been adjusting my algorithm. So I'm also getting, which is important because it's stuff we need to know, but and I'm getting content about that's coming directly from not only oral histories, but actual diaries from chattel slavery and diaries even kept by slave owners about the things that they were doing to enslaved Africans. And it's it's the same shit.
Have you listened to that one episode of Behind the Bastards?
I've been listening to a lot of Behind the Bastards, but which one specifically? The one about
it's about a guy who owned people and he kept diaries of all.
Yeah, he's the Thistledown guy, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the diary clips that I've been seeing on my algorithm.
And then you realize that this is
it just hasn't
so
changed.
Not new.
Yeah.
It is so not new, and that stuff doesn't just go away
until we fucking eradicate it. It's just, it touches absolutely everything, and we're all navigating the horrors of that, and we're all getting a lot of information bombarded at us in real time, and that's also a tactic. So we're trying to stay the course and stay focused, and it's very chaotic. It's a lot.
I've been feeling very similar to how I felt at the beginning of the lockdown, where like I think it's just a dissociation, and like I have a really hard time like remembering like something that I did the day before or something like that. And it might also just be because I haven't left my house in a long time.
Me either.
Very lockdown-esque. But you probably feel the same way in Minneapolis with, you know, hell raining down all around you.
Yeah.
It's just like, when am I? What is this new world that has suddenly unfolded that we just have to deal with now?
And that serves as a reminder, too. I'd be remiss if I did not say that, like, news out of Minneapolis has quieted. Action on the ground in Minneapolis has not quieted. Yeah, it's just that they haven't, as far as we know, at least in front of witnesses and observers, shot and killed anyone that we're not here. But people are still, you know, we're still working on community needs for folks who are being disappeared off the street every single day. It has not stopped. It has not slowed down. Like, it's just not front and center because, you know, more white people haven't been murdered. So,
yep.
You know,
which
just
is
like,
not to say that they likely won't, because it's not getting better anytime soon for anyone.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a long haul situation.
Yeah, it is a marathon.
It is a marathon. So we are trying to stay regulated and functioning to the best of our ability. But if you are also spiraling in, you know, lots of ways, you are not alone, and everything that is going on around us is incredibly dysregulating. And like we've said many times, it's not new, and the dysregulation is the point. And so grounding yourself in something, which I mean, for my recommendation would be anti-racism work, because the text for how to dismantle this and like survive this and build something better, like improve over time, have already been
how
written.
We got here.
Precisely. People are like, what do we do? And it's like, Black and Indigenous people have literally written the book on what we do. So let's go read the books.
Yeah, we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Nope.
It's there are literal handbooks written for us.
And if that isn't like compelling enough, then I will individualize it for you. It truly does help you stay regulated. Like having that bit of understanding and also learning about real actions that you can get involved with on the ground are regulating. Because when you have all this overwhelm with no plan and like you don't know what to do, then we shut down and we don't do anything. But there's something for everyone to do. And nothing is too small. So anyway, wow. Hello. 10 minutes. 9 minutes? Almost 10 minutes. This is a very special fan from Sophia, who has chosen Bad Parents.
Bad Parents.
Bill and I got really high and watched Eyes Wide Shut last night.
Why do you do... That is the worst movie you could possibly watch at this point in time.
I mean, or is that why we were like, wait, we need to rewatch this?
It's time for a rewatch. I did watch, what's the one with Kate Winslet? Is it Contagion?
Oh, yeah.
Right when the COVID first burst on the scene.
Me too. Those were the first things I watched.
The monkey one, too. I watched the monkey one. My God, why do we do this?
We're human beings. We're deeply flawed. But
we are also in true crime. We're like flagellates.
Dive in. So yeah, Bad Parents. Bad Parents. Lots to discuss.
Lots to discuss. I have a lot of really interesting information. I was trying to keep it really light because I knew what yours was about. And also just this general moment in culture.
Right.
Yeah, so hopefully mine is enough to keep us somewhat buoyant through the end of the episode.
We got this. We got this. Sophia also wanted to make a recommendation for what we discuss in the wine segment today, because it sounds like she's a Washington gal herself and wanted us to talk about Walla Walla Valley wine information and wines. So I'm going to whet your palate first with a little bit of Wikipedia poll about just the viticultural area, the AVA of Walla Walla, and then talk about the wine that I chose. So
Some wiki about Walla Walla.
some wiki about Walla Walla. DJ Blunts. A joke you would get if you watch Parks and Rec. Walla Walla Valley is an American viticultural area located within Washington state and extending partly into the northeastern corner of Oregon. The wine region is entirely included within the larger Columbia Valley AVA. So this is like a niche region within a larger region, which I think is cool. And I think it's particularly niche because of like the soil, which we'll get to. The soil is really interesting to me. I mean, look at it. The soil is really interesting. Lock in.
I believe you.
Lock in. Okay.
Lock in.
Lock in,
Rock in.
Rock in, bitches. The soil. So after the Yakima Valley AVA, the Walla Walla AVA has the second highest concentration of vineyards and wineries in Washington state. So she's a big deal. She's cranking out a lot of grapes.
She is the moment.
She is the moment. Okay, here's what I thought was interesting about the soil. The soils of the Walla Walla Valley consist largely of wind-deposited loess. Have you heard of that?
Loess.
Loess?
Yes, the Loess Hills are on the west side of Iowa. They're
I
a
did
very
not know that was
unique
how it was pronounced. Thank God.
topographical region. Topography.
They're really interesting, not just because, you know, the wind shapes the topography, but the wind deposits, what did you call it? Loess? Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
The loess is soil that is like as fine as dust that has been carried by the wind. So it will also contain soil from farther off regions that are not, it's not like natural to that zone.
Very cool.
So that can affect the outcome of the grapes you're growing, because if you have like a super, in this area, it's mostly limestone heavy, but like you could have loess that's less limestoney and more like, I don't know, volcanic sand.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would totally change the flavor profile or like the growing conditions of the grapes, which I thought was so fucking cool. I've never really thought about that.
So
like,
yeah, I didn't know that lust doesn't define like exactly the makeup of the soil itself. It's rather like how it got there.
Why it's there.
Cool.
So this limestone heavy loess provides very good drainage for the vines. The area itself does receive minimal rainfall and thus relies on irrigation. The 200-day long growing season is characterized by hot days and very cool nights, which is really great for like good solid ripening of grapes when they get that like heat all day to get like the sugars fucking boiling and get that shit ripe. And then it's like, okay, ladies, take a break. Have a nice cool down for the next 6 to 8 hours.
Take a load off.
Take a freaking load off. The valley is prone to sudden shifts in temperature as cold air comes down from the Blue Mountains and is trapped in the Snake and Columbia River valleys. While generally cooler than the surrounding Columbia Valley AVA, temperatures in the winter can drop to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I didn't know it could get that cold there.
Jeez, I didn't either.
Most of the region is in hardiness zone 7A. The southern part of Walla Walla Valley extends into the state of Oregon and is one of the warmer wine growing regions in that state. So our fan picker Sophia could also be in Oregon, not necessarily Washington, since it goes into both. One of the warmer wine growing regions in that state after the Rogue Valley. Syrah is a major planting in this area. So you know I love a Syrah, so I did pick a Syrah from this winery. Cabernet Sauvignon is the most well-known and widely planted grape in the area, followed by Merlot, Syrah, Sangiovese, and Cab Franc. So a lot of like nice medium to full-bodied, like really tasty, peppery, food-friendly reds are coming out of that genital area. So in keeping with the Walla Walla shout out, I'm pairing a wine from Walla Walla Vintners, which was established in 2017 and has an amazing selection of wines that reflect the grapes that like do so well in that region. This one in particular is the 2022 Syrah Le Coyne Vineyard.
Got it. Nailed it.
And I'll read you their little blurb about this. This is 100% Syrah, and again, that vintage is 2022 from the Walla Walla Valley AVA. When winter frost challenged our estate Syrah, serendipity led us to Le Coyne Vineyards, coveted Block 12. Perched at 1,200 feet with perfect southern exposure, this sought-after site delivered exactly what we were seeking. Our 2022 Le Coyne Syrah takes a perfect balance between dark fruit and savory complexity. The nose bursts with black raspberry and peach, woven with lemongrass and barbecue spice rub. Oh, my mouth's watering.
Oh my God.
Evolving into fascinating layers of petrichor, pipe tobacco, and salted caramel. Bitch, yum.
Yeah.
The palate is pure silk, round and generous with a polished mid-palate that unfolds into blackberry, apricot, and orange peel. Can you imagine drinking this with chocolate cake? Like really
Yum.
thick-ass chocolate cake.
I
with
was
like
picturing like
an
a
orange
wool.
peel drizzle.
I was thinking of like a wool lap blanket with a fireplace, specifically in the house that my sister house sat for with Webb the dog, where we had dinner
in
that
Linden
one
Hills.
time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The woodwork.
That house,
Pipe
December.
tobacco lingering in the woodwork.
Yep. Several unscented candles because I want to enjoy the scent of the fire, the wine, the cake.
Mm-hmm. That was a magical night.
Yeah.
It was such a great dinner.
It was wonderful.
God bless.
Too bad we didn't have this wine.
I know, right? I wish. Those classic stem tannins from whole cluster fermentation, provide just the right structure and depth. While crafted to age gracefully over the next decade, this wine is already singing. So I love how this is written. These people clearly are in love with their wine. It's gorgeous, and it's like from this specific plot in the Walla Walla Valley that was like just properly protected by like cliffside from like cold wind to make this particular like special, I can't believe we pulled this off that year bottle.
It's so cool when wines are so unique because of like very, very specific circumstances, like
that are fully outside of anyone's control.
A
outside
cliff
of
to
climate
the
change,
to the northwest.
Yeah.
Oh, don't find that everywhere.
It's really wild. It's really wild. So I thought it was really cool. And this is a little on the pricier side. It is on sale right now for $51, but it's like such a special wine. And they are a small winemaker. So highly recommend checking them out. It sounds like they do also have like options to visit their location. You can make reservations there for tastings. You can host events there. They have all kinds of fun stuff going on. So you can check them out at Walla Walla Vintners, VINTNERS.com. You can order their wines online if they, obviously ship to your location. But if you are local, stop in, hook them up, give them a shout out.
Go see
Try
that
their
cliff.
wine. Go see that dang cliff. All right. Let's take a quick break so I can A, get beans off of my keyboard, B, we can hear a quick word from our sponsors, and C, we can take a rip of whatever we need to take a rip of before we continue. How does that sound?
I think that sounds great.
Awesome.
So we should all go do that, and we'll be right back after a moment.
All right, Lucy, welcome back. What do you got for us for Bad Parents? Dare I even fucking ask?
Well, like I said, I'm going to try to do us all a favor and keep this as light as possible. I'm not particularly eager to hear bad things about children any more than I already have the last few weeks.
Well, I don't know how to tell you this, but
I know, and then I know what your fucking case is about, so
enjoy your brief respite.
we're more going to talk about parents. I also want to acknowledge at the top that not everyone has the option of whether or not to have kids. About 20% of Americans want to become parents but face infertility issues. And then, first of all, wading through the swamp that is the current internet looking for reliable abortion statistics is a fucking trip. But can't find any solid numbers, but somewhere around 10 to 15% of people who seek an abortion can't get one. So that kind of speaks to the other side of things in a way, you know, abortion is healthcare, and not everybody who can get pregnant has that kind of care available.
Right.
So there are people out there who have kids who did not want to have kids, and a lot of people out there who don't have kids who want to have kids. But we're talking today about people who did have kids who maybe shouldn't have had kids. Some people are just not meant to be parents.
Yeah.
But
I'm one of them.
She's one of them.
Right
it's
here.
better to figure that out before you have kids.
Yes, in an ideal world. Yes.
Are you comfortable sharing maybe your main reason or reasons for not wanting to have kids?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have a lot of reasons for not wanting to have kids. Number one, I just do not have the desire to raise children. I never really did. I never wanted to be pregnant. Back in the days when I did consider having kids, even when I was like young, when I was like in high school, I had always considered adoption first. I never wanted to be pregnant. So yeah, I mean, that's a good enough reason. But B, I am very diabetic and have a lot of health conditions that not only would I not want to risk putting on a child, you know, I got diabetes through genetics. I didn't ask to be born, and I didn't ask to deal with this. I'm obviously happy that I'm here, and that's great. But like,
but if you weren't, we'd never know.
Right. So not only that, but like, I know that not just my health during pregnancy would be at a very elevated risk, but just like my health and well-being as a parent. Like, my sleep is really dysregulated. I'm sick a lot. I mean, I'm always sick. I'm chronically ill, but like pretty debilitatingly sick with frequency. I know that it would require so much of my partner to be able to raise children that I could not do it on my own. And I don't want to put that on my partner, who also does not want children. It just like, it's not for me. And that's okay. And I love kids. I love other people's kids. I'm an incredibly good babysitter. I do the like infant CPR classes. I'll do overnights. Like
You hurt your back picking up a child. That's dedication.
I did. And I would do it again, you know?
Yes, because you love that child.
Because I love the children that are in my life, and being an auntie is the best thing in the world for me. And so I chose what worked best for me, because that's my free will as a human person.
Most of my friends and the people I hang out with don't have kids. At least kids like June's age. So I can say with conviction that people who don't have kids are still very much a part of my support network and like my circle, and those are people who are responsible for raising her also.
I say this all the time online to people who love to stigmatize people who are child-free by choice. I don't think anyone should be stigmatized for being child-free for any fucking reason whatsoever. But there's like this specific subset of people that are, you know, not fucking feminist enough to care that I exist as more than just an incubator for the next generation. But being without children does not mean that you are without family.
Oh, yeah.
And like that's vice versa. Like, being without a community that's full of children also does not mean that you are without family. And like, I can definitely confirm, you know, even just off the top of my head, how like your Shad and Ben are very much a part of June's life, and like come over a lot, and, you know, offer to help and offer to babysit. And like, that is so crucial. You don't, you
They're
do
just
have
around.
family. Yeah. You do have family that's close enough that when things are scheduled and planned, your family on both sides can step in and help support. But you don't have like your sister down the street to be like, hey, I really need help right now. But you do have a lot of people that you could call who would be that for you.
Yeah, 100%. And
And
I
that's
think
a really fun fucking role. I love being a person like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because then you get to be the cool aunt or partner. Well, maybe not partner, but you know what I mean. You get to be the cool person in that kid's life who's like, you have some expendable income where you can get her a really fucking rad birthday present.
Yeah.
Or just drop by and be like, bye, we're leaving to go get ice cream.
Right. Like I want to foster all of those relationships as these kids continue to grow right in front of my eyes, which is like, it's also such a gift to be able to like be included in that experience as somebody who is not having my own children. So I truly don't, because we've built such lovely community with other people who do have kids, we don't feel like we're missing out on, and I know it's not the same, and I'm not saying that it's the same, but I still get to watch these kids grow and watch them learn and reach these milestones. And like the first time one of your little friend babies says your name, like when June sauntered in there and said my name on the mic,
yeah,
I like burst into fucking tears. It's
you
so
did,
cool.
You cried. It's very cool.
I love it. So I
cool
appreciate my kid having friends and I tell them this often, that like, thank you for letting me have access to these moments, because it really is fulfilling to witness it. And I do understand why people would feel an overwhelming like, you know, urge or feel compelled to procreate. I get it on like an anthropological level. It's just not my bag.
It's not your bag. And that's so fucking fair.
Yeah, 100%.
And we'll also kind of get back to this in a little bit, but like, I think modern times have allowed us to redefine what family looks like. And if family is yourself and your dog, that's great. That's your family. It doesn't have to be producing a biological child.
No.
It does not have to look like that.
And the world does not need more of my DNA.
Dude,
I've got two nieces.
The world doesn't need more of anyone's DNA. I mean, we'll get to that too, as far as like economy collapse, etc. But like, I mean, there's an unsustainable amount of people on this planet right now as we are treating the planet the way that we currently are.
And I have deeply unpopular opinions regarding that in terms of people's choice to have children as well. But like, it doesn't matter. I accept the free will of the people. We are a species. We're going to procreate. And I can't be mad at everyday people. I'm not mad at everyday people who want to have families. I'm mad at the people at the top who are making that a legitimate reason not to have kids for a lot of people, and myself included, is I don't want to add more. I don't want to put an innocent kid that did not ask me to be born in all of this. You know, but I do not begrudge people who want families. That's that's like the most innately natural thing to fucking want. And we live in a society that makes that almost fucking impossible for everyday people to do. That's sick. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well,
fuck billionaires.
Well, again, this episode does feel very targeted, and that's also fair. Before we get into like more of that stuff, I did find a list. It's from BuzzFeed. It was compiled from Reddit. But these are signs that you might not be cut out for parenthood.
Okay, I want to see all the ones I can check off.
I don't agree with all of these. I think that listicles like this can come off as quite judgy. And I'm going to say this from my own experience. When I was growing up, I did not have this fantastical obsession, devotion to like playing house and babies and, you know, wanting to get married and have babies and that kind of thing that's like, I mean, frankly, really forced upon a lot of young girls. But also there are children who are genuinely do love babies and the idea of caretaking and things like that. And that's great. But because I didn't like that and I didn't particularly enjoy babysitting or like other people's kids, then I was sort of gaslit into believing that I would be a bad parent. And that like weirdly fucked me up.
Yeah. Yeah. So. You and I have talked about this a lot, about judgments from other people about you not being inherently maternal.
Yeah.
And how untrue that is, because like you have been a caregiver in our friendship, and I've seen you be a caregiver in our lifelong friendships since day one.
I
And
feel
you
like
not
I'm a very maternal person.
Yeah, you not fawning over babies is not the same thing as you not being a maternal person. And then it was so
or like
awesome.
or a person who wants to be a caregiver
Yes.
in that capacity. I have an excellent mom. I have the world's best mom. So to think that like I wouldn't transfer that necessarily. I'm not saying that everyone with a good mom can themselves be a good mom, but like I sure as hell was modeled good parenting.
Yeah, you absolutely were.
But yeah, I think that kind of, on a personal level, I think that kind of fucked me up, especially when I was like going through IVF and was pregnant and like, oh, am I going to be a good parent? But anyway, so this list, so a couple things in this list was sort of like, that's a little bit judgy, but maybe that comes from just me being a little bit sensitive. But I just wanted to put that out there in case anyone else finds any of these a little prickly. Okay, so here are some signs that you might not be cut out for parenthood. Your marriage is going through a rocky phase and you think the child will help patch it up. Pretty much never. Don't put that kind of pressure on a baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything on this list that falls in what would be categorized as like a pretty inherently selfish or self-serving reason to have a child is a tough start, where it's like you're here to bear the mantle of fixing this relationship that you don't know anything about and that you didn't ask to be plopped in the middle of, and now that's your responsibility.
Yep.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of things that stem to selfishness. If you have the attitude that your kids owe you for being born, if you don't know how to control your anger, if you don't know how to speak or listen, and if you don't know how to understand or feel empathy, that's just one, you know. Yeah, I would say that is not a very good
fit.
It's not a great fit, no. If you feel like you should have kids because everyone else is having kids. Not everyone else is having kids.
Promise you we're not.
No. If you just have a generally short fuse as a person, I can tell you being a parent takes a lot of patience and a lot of learned patience. You might have a short fuse now, but if you don't see yourself adapting in the future, that's the real sign, I think. If you did a test run and bought a hamster and it died after a week, you probably shouldn't have kids. They do need food and water and bedding. If you just want a kid so they'll look after you in your old age.
It's not guaranteed that any of us will be able to fucking do that. Like,
no.
We can barely afford to take care of ourselves. Everything is so fucking expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have the resources to deal with children, and that can look like a lot of things, it's very expensive to have kids, and it's particularly very expensive to have kids like comfortably.
Yeah, and that's just considering like financial resources. Like community in and of itself is a resource. And if you are living in a community that is under-resourced, destabilized by any number of things. It could be war, it could be poverty, it could be any of the above.
It could be living 3 states away from your own parents. It can look like a lot of things. It could be having a shitty partner. This is one that I didn't necessarily agree with. If you're not truly excited about having kids and parenting, listen. Excitement would not have necessarily been a word that I would use describing the lead up to having a child.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's just a lot of things. And you can be like, you don't have to be 100%, you know, on the side of excitement for that to be for this to be like a legitimate thing for you.
Yeah, and I think that kind of like toxic positivity culture can get really weaponized and then devalue parents who are feeling like extreme burnout, extreme duress for then being bad parents because they're not always sunshine and rainbows about being a parent. Like raising a kid is fucking brutally hard work. That's a big part of why I don't want to fucking do it. I am ready to tap out over many minor inconveniences, and my kid does not deserve that lack of commitment.
Yeah. So like you can see how this easily slips into just sort of like unnecessary judgment. But if you have unfulfilled dreams and hope your kids can achieve them so you can live vicariously through them, not healthy.
No.
If you are a narcissist, probably not. If you want a baby, but you don't want a toddler, a kid, a tween, a teen, and then an adult. The babies, they're only babies for like a few months.
Minute, yeah.
Like a minute.
In the grand scheme of things.
And also each stage I'm finding it's a lot of perks too. It's like, I'm so glad June's not a baby anymore. Because now we can have conversations.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking trippy.
You can leave the room for a minute to like take a dump. And
Literally
she can like play with her toys and watch a movie.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm watching some of my other friends' kids enter into that stage of like, I can play on my own. And I kind of want that independence. So I'm going to go to my room, or I'm going to go like to the playroom.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you to have that independence. Proud of you.
Truly.
Yeah. It's coming.
And it happens
it's right
overnight
around the corner.
and it's wild. But like, yeah. If you just want a baby to carry around to be your accessory, to be your showpiece, that's gross. Get a small dog.
Yeah. Babies are people. They're human beings.
Yeah. And they will quickly become autonomous, independent thinkers. And if you don't want them to be independent human beings, then that's another little
bit of a red flag.
Yeah. You shouldn't have a kid if you're not okay with the possibility that your kid could turn out to be trans, queer, have a different religion or no religion or different life goals than you. If your child is disabled in any way, that's not... Yeah.
Your job is to love them anyway. Like, love them no matter how they come out.
Yeah, because they're yours. Another one I don't agree with. You shouldn't have kids if you don't enjoy babysitting or taking care of anyone else's kids. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a bit much, especially because not everybody has access to children to like get that kind of practice. You know, God forbid you be the first person in your family or the first person in your friend group that has a kid. Where the fuck were you supposed to get exposed to all of this your whole life? Like, that's ridiculous.
Also, other people's kids do suck.
They can. You don't have that same biological connection to like find them funny and charming through all the bullshit that they're doing.
And you don't have to enjoy changing diapers and making breakfast every fucking day.
No.
For someone that you don't, that's not your, I just think this one was like, if you don't like babysitting, you shouldn't have kids.
Yeah. And of course, in an ideal world, everybody, that includes men, would have had some kind of experience or access to, babysitting gigs or whatever, and had been around babies and had learned a little bit of how to care for babies, but just not everybody has that opportunity. So, and you can't, it would be one thing if it was like, don't have kids until you have like been around kids or experienced kids. And like, okay, yeah, that's also kind of like what do they call it? Like a limiting belief. Like you're really leaving out a lot of people who don't have access to that kind of community. But sure, okay. But like then saying you have to have enjoyed it or you shouldn't have kids is fucking ridiculous. You don't have the biological, hormonal drive to love and keep that child alive when it's just someone's sticky fucking kid that's been screaming the same Baby Shark song for 10 fucking hours and you want to rip your goddamn ears off your head. I don't have to enjoy that. I just don't.
It's actually more realistic if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, you're getting a real taste.
Like I said, that patience is learned.
Elegance is learned. Oh, yeah.
My friends.
My friends.
Shouldn't be a parent if you think that sometimes kids need to be smacked in order to understand something. Don't hit kids. There's no scenario where that's appropriate.
Nope.
If you have unresolved trauma and no intention of seeking therapy, you probably shouldn't have kids.
And, everybody has unresolved trauma. We're not saying you have to be a completely healed person before you have children, because that's fucking absurd. And who is a completely healed person?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
But, like on a journey, or with wellness,
some
in
acknowledgement
place.
and humility in there.
Yes, to acknowledge that, because your traumas do inform how you move through the world, and that is that's parenting. Like, you are teaching your children how to move through the world, and if you have your own trauma that is not just unresolved, but like has been buried that you won't even look at, then that frames how you are behaving as a parent, what you're expecting from that child, what you're teaching that child. Basics like how to apologize. A lot of us have boomer parents that
my God.
that concept was not really involved in the parenting side of things. And it's like, then we as a result had to learn on our own, like, what does repair actually look like when you harm someone? Because that's inevitable as a human being. And we weren't, modeled that as strongly as maybe a different generations of families were. So
yeah,
that's just one example.
At least in my experience, and I'm not saying this is across the board, I'm not trying to paint with a wide brush, but like abuse was so prevalent in a lot of our parents' generations and older that like they don't even consider that abuse, and therefore they don't consider anything that's not, that potentially is, or especially is not violent as trauma.
Right.
So like trying to explain like, no, that is trauma. That is something you need to acknowledge and heal from. And then sometimes it just pops out in like the most random ways. You're like, what the fuck?
Where did that come from?
And none of us are immune to that.
No.
So yeah, I think just being open to seeking therapy in general
so that you're not like putting on your kid, okay, what if this is my parent and what if this is like their trauma pattern? And then what am I supposed to learn from this? Like, we don't fucking know how to do that when we're children. It's not our fucking job.
It's not your job. You didn't ask to be born. You didn't ask to be here. Like, this is on the parent. Okay, so I found an article from the APA, which I found very fascinating. There were a lot of like offshoot articles from it. So we're just going to go through and read some interesting insights and some statistics about parenthood, choosing to be parents. According to a February 2024 Pew Research Center poll, 30% of people between the ages of 18 and 34 who already don't have kids are not sure if they want children, and 18% say they definitely don't want any. 18%.
Yeah, that's high.
Of 18 to 34-year-olds. I thought it's absolutely higher than it has been in the past. That follows a rise between 2018 and 2021 in the percentage of non-parents under the age of 50 who said they were not too likely or not likely at all to have kids. So that jumped, let's just say the not likely at all, that jumped from 2018 when it was 21% to 23% in 2021. So it's going up like...
That's a significant increase.
Almost a percentage every year. I mean, obviously this is very small. That was just a few years, but... So this leads us to ask why, in which I say, why not?
Right. Look around you.
Hello.
The answers are everywhere.
As far as the light touches.
Everything the light touches, Simba, is in the Epstein fucking files.
God, literally. Okay. I'm trying not to spiral about the fucking Epstein files.
I searched myself just to be sure. I'm not
You
in there.
searched your dad. I haven't searched myself.
Did I not search you?
No, I don't think I've been to Epstein's Island. You'd think I'd remember, but maybe not.
Don't have to have gone to the island to be in the files. If there's one thing I've learned.
What have you learned?
I'm just saying, I've read a lot of shit.
Oh, God.
Not everyone
okay.
we need to be worried about specifically went to the island.
Was Diane Keaton in the files? Tell me now.
I did not look up Diane Keaton. I
She
wasn't ready.
We all know she wasn't.
We know if she was, that would have been out already.
Who's searching Diane Keaton?
Some sicko.
Some sicko, yeah, okay.
There's always a sicko for that. There's always a sicko for that.
There's a sicko for that.
Hey, there's a sicko for that.
There's a kink for that. Okay, this is from that API article. For many of the undecided, meaning undecided whether to be a parent or not.
Meaning probs not.
Well, yeah. It's empowering to view parenthood as an option and not as an obligation. Wholeheartedly believe.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, some scholars point to the long shrinking birth rate in the United States as a reflection of increased gender equity. Yet some experts say that many of the factors that keep fence sitters teetering,
yuck,
they're calling them fence sitters in this article, childhood trauma, financial challenges, political and environmental fears, paltry childcare options and parental leave policies, mental illness, attacks on reproductive freedom, and more are reflections of a troubled society. You don't say, APA.
Yeah.
A 2023 meta-analysis, for one, found that the more concerned people were about climate change, the fewer children they wanted, if they wanted any at all. That was my biggest thing about when deciding whether or not to have kids.
Right. Will
like,
there
won't
be an
a planet.
Earth? Yeah. That is a legitimate question that, like, we are facing now in this current time, but that will have heavy impact on the next direct generation, like June's generation, but also if she has children, like, it's crazy. It's hard not to think about it.
It's really terrifying to think about. But then I also think about, like, what if she is one of the ones who makes a difference in all this, you know?
She could solve it.
And it doesn't need to be all on her shoulders, but, like, you know, there's only one Greta Thunberg. And, you know, some might say that she hasn't been effective, but, like, I would argue
she absolutely
that
has.
She's been incredibly effective. And it's not just about one person. It's about raising a generation that can make a difference. So, I don't know. That's just my Hope Corps way of thinking about it, because I have to.
There are a lot of, you know, liberation scholars across race, religion, and creed that will attest to raising children in service of the type of world we would like to have is an act of resistance. You know? I
mean, it is, because what else are we going to do?
I mean, there's plenty that we can do.
Well, yes, there's plenty that we could do, but as far as,
is
like,
one of many things
across the generations,
yeah,
it's in terms of having kids or not having kids, I guess, is more what I meant.
Right.
Like, what else are we going to do? Not have kids?
Right. And some people don't, but not everybody's going to make that choice, and that's fine.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, so Amanda Chappell, PhD, a faculty member at Bethany College in West Virginia, whose dissertation looks at the factors influencing people's childbearing plans, says, quote, "It's not a good enough reason anymore to say I'm going to have kids because that's what everyone else is doing and that's what my mom wants me to do. It's not a good enough reason anymore because there's so much at stake." But the longer fence sitters, particularly women, stall, the more likely they are to age out rather than opt out of biological parenting altogether.
Yeah, I'm also almost 40, so whatever, I mean, God bless you for thinking I still could, but, like, whatever demon crawled out of this 9 months from now, I mean, that it would not be a good situation for anyone involved. No one wants this.
Well, we'll kind of get back to that, but there is, like, I feel like everyone I fucking know has been on an infertility journey. Like, almost everyone, and it's just, that's a whole other thing. But So as a result of this aging out thing, some demographers, economists, and psychologists worry that, among other concerns, there won't be enough young people to support the economy and an aging population.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, this is again from Chappell. These numbers are declining. People are having fewer and fewer kids than ever before, and our world is reaching its limit of resources to even sustain the amount of people we have. Both are true.
Mm-hmm.
Both can be true. We're not in a great situation, folks.
Nope.
According to a 2020 analysis that looked at trends across 195 countries, why did I think there were only 193? The average number of kids a woman had dropped from 4.7 in 1950.
Damn.
Jesus,
That's
the
way too
average.
many kids. Yuck.
So 4.7 in 1950 to 2.4 in 2017. And the study authors predict it will fall again below 1.7 by the year 2100. So there are many reasons, not the least of which is financial reasons. Basically, it's getting hard / it is impossible to support yourself in the current system, even as a single person living on your own with the economy the way that it is. And it is essentially extends your adolescence. So more people are staying on their parents' insurance, on their parents' phone plans, living in their parents' homes. You know, it's just extending that whole thing. So it is sort of in a way pushing back the parenthood years, the being an adult years. Many fence sitters also cite a lack of societal, workplace, and financial support for parents, especially mothers in the United States. The Pew Research report found that 17% of childless adults under the age of 50 say they probably wouldn't have kids specifically for financial reasons. Our country also has no paid parental leave policy and sparse and expensive childcare options, yet still expects more from women than men at home. Our daycare, it goes down. The cost goes down the older she gets, but it started at over $500 a week.
Yeah.
A fucking week. So it essentially, I mean, it negates income.
Yeah, you're spending more, about the same, if not more, than a mortgage on daycare for one child.
Much more than my mortgage. Much more. It's just fucking crazy. It's fucking nuts. And I know that it differs, you know, city to city. It definitely does. And my mother-in-law ran an in-home daycare for like 30 years. And I told her how much June's daycare is, and she was like, oh my God. Like, she was just aghast. But also, in-home daycare in Charles City.
It's not going to be...
not in-home daycare in Des Moines.
Yeah,
you know,
they're going to be priced differently.
They're going to be priced a little bit differently, but like, it really is. And that's even for a lot of places don't have availability.
Yeah, you're paying
They
that
don't have
if
a
you can
choice.
get into it. Like, it's a
can-
privilege to even get into a daycare.
It's just...
And God forbid your child have additional needs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is just the most blanket, straightforward. Yeah. It's crazy. And then, yeah, working as a woman, a mother working, and then also just all of the expectations at home. Oh, we got a ways to go. Okay. Also, I think, well, this paper posits that women in particular, so at least psychologically, can delay having children because of assisted reproductive technology. So, like you said, you're almost 40, whatever crawled out of your hole, whatever your exact quote was.
Would be unrecognizable. She wouldn't be human, guys.
But now we can, like, freeze our eggs and, like, IVF and all sorts of different means of being able to have children later in life.
Which, yeah, I think is great for a lot of reasons.
And it gives people a little bit of a sense of comfort, more so than we probably would have 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've got a little time to figure this out before I go down that path because this is available to me if you are in a position where you are privileged enough to be able to access that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that makes a big difference. And that's a big factor in deciding to wait. I really do hate that phrase. Let's just wait. A study in this article found that 34 to 40-year-old, so men who are between the ages of 34 and 40 who don't have children were more likely than women their age who also don't have children to intend to have children later and have positive feelings about it. Whereas women are just like, yeah, maybe have some later.
Yeah, with that
34 to 40, that is what we're thinking about.
Well, yeah,
for better
we've
or
had
worse.
the idea of our fucking biological clock drilled into us from the time we could
first saw my cousin Vinny.
Pretty much, yeah.
But also men might feel a little bit more optimistic about that because they tend to receive more of the rewards and fewer of the responsibilities. Men's biological capacity to sit on the fence much longer probably also plays a role. Men can have kids when they're fucking 70 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Your fucking sperm never dies.
Well, because it regenerates. It's not like we're born with all the eggs we've got.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't care.
They
It's annoying.
They have infinite sperm for the in the grand scheme of things compared to what we're packing.
Disgusting.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
Yeah, y'all are sick.
Get out. It's not for you. It's not about you.
Get out, Corey. This isn't
Screaming.
for you.
Screaming, this isn't for you, while he scampers through a dark room while we're watching Traitors. It's my favorite thing. Go make us hot dogs. God.
Know your place.
This isn't about you. It's the finale. What the fuck are you doing here?
I don't care that this is your house.
You act like you live here.
The audacity.
Go through the back door like we talked about.
Quietly.
Silently.
Husbands should be seen, not heard.
For real. They should be seen with a plate of steaming hot dogs.
Poor Corey.
He's fine.
He is fine.
If we're walking away from this episode knowing one goddamn thing, it's that
Corey's
he's fine. He's fucking fine. One study found that 39% of young people globally feel hesitant to have kids because of climate concerns.
Yeah.
I should have put that up by the other fact about the climate.
Yep.
But
That's fine.
around the world, 39%. Christ. Okay, I felt really... Okay, I don't regret having a child at all. But there was something about this stat made me feel kind of good. Between 7 and 8%, roughly, again, this is hard to calculate, but according to one study, and this was particularly about Polish people, I will say, between 7 and 8% of parents regret having kids.
I believe that.
I'm actually kind of surprised it's not higher.
It seems low.
And,
Let's rephrase this. What was it, 7 to 8%?
Yeah.
7 to 8% of parents admit that they regret having kids.
Right. A mere 7 to 8% of parents admit
And to be
regretting.
fair, I think there's a difference between a regret that you hold consistently about having children / being a parent and a moment in parenting where you're like, oh my God, I fucking regret everything. Like that's going to happen.
That's a huge difference.
And that's different than I regret having kids over like, this is my overall thought on being a parent. Not, oh my God, you're pissing me off so much. I fucking regret having you going through your mind in a moment of hell with your child. That's totally fair and does not make you a bad parent.
I did go read that study, or at least like laid eyes on that study. They parsed out exactly who they were asking, which in this case, they interviewed people from the U.S., people from Germany, and people from Poland. the conclusion was 7 to 8%. And then they also kind of figured out that 7 to 8% tend to have a higher level of adverse childhood experiences. So they themselves didn't have a great childhood.
Yep. They have trauma they're processing.
Yeah. That's largely what it correlated with. Among other commonalities, like experiencing parental burnout. So there is some of that kind of more momentary burnout thing, but it seemed to me like they kind of separated that enough so that it was like parents with older kids, so they could kind of really let that regret sink in.
Yeah, that's a little. It's like, how old are your kids? 25 and 19.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're
Got
perfect.
it. So you really regret it.
So
Like,
you probably
still regret it.
hate your kids right now.
I'm
Got
sure
it.
that
Okay, great.
relationship is flourishing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if a lot of the regret is because they themselves did not have good childhood experiences, that's the least surprising. Researchers has shown that while relationship satisfaction tends to decline for everyone in the first 10 years of partnership, so this would be between the parents, parents are less satisfied than non-parents with their own relationships. And the mothers in particular feel the strain, with just 38% of married moms reporting high relationship satisfaction compared to 62% of married women with no kids.
Wow.
That's a huge gap.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but how could resentment not rear its ugly head if you feel like you're on an island by your fucking self, raising your child, like doing all the heavy lifting?
And I think that's like, yes, women take on a lot more roles within the house. And I think that we feel it a lot more. That said, I think it's really easy, speaking from somebody who's parenting a toddler right now, to feel like you're both on an island by yourself, regardless of the extra responsibilities. It's just sort of the nature of, at least from what I've learned, the nature of having a young child in the home, because you kind of don't feel like an adult. You don't feel like you have a lot of autonomy. You don't feel like you've been connecting with your partner in a long time.
Yeah. It's a lot.
This isn't unique.
No.
Like, it's, you're just sort of, you're kind of hanging on for dear life.
You're just surviving while you keep your child alive until your child can take on a little bit of that responsibility.
Yeah.
On their own, and then you can start to get your fucking life back. Which, again, I'm too selfish to do that. I'm just not going to do that.
There's nothing wrong with you being, too, quote unquote, too selfish. Again, your words.
Yeah, this is not a negative thing about myself.
No.
I like my life
and seeing that about yourself, knowing that about yourself is exactly what needs to be
100%.
happening.
I mean, obviously there are a lot of things about my life that I don't love, but like overall, I'm a pretty happy and fulfilled person.
Yeah.
And I don't want to irrevocably alter that for forever.
And no one should vilify or stigmatize somebody who does value their freedom and their autonomy and their income and finances and decide that having a child is not worth sacrificing.
No. And I'm still poor.
Or most or all of that.
I'm still broke as a fucking joke, and I don't have a kid. I've got two cats and a rabbit
in on Saturdays.
You're goddamn right, and I do.
I know.
You know I do.
Then that's totally fine. Totally fine. Okay, so Chappell says, this is kind of what I was saying earlier. Quote, people are realizing that there is no right way to have a family. If your family is you and your partner and your two cats, then that's a family. It doesn't have to be complete by having a biological child. So the definition of family is changing. It's getting more inclusive.
I love that.
Okay, so just a little paragraph to kind of wrap us up. This article concludes with saying, while both paths, meaning to have a child or to not have a child, can come with some grief and regret, research suggests that most people wind up content no matter which side of the fence they pursue.
Because they're pursuing what they want, whether that be having a kid or not having a kid.
Or if you're one of the fence sitters and you just can't decide, you could toss a coin and just go with that, and you'll be fine. For example, in a 2023 study, Michigan State University psychologists found that about 1 in 5 adults in the state of Michigan is child-free by choice, a decision most made in their teens and 20s and just stuck to it.
Yep, I made it in my 20s.
That was interesting that it was like, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I can't find a partner. I'm not married by the time I'm 35, so I'm not having kids. It's like, no, I don't want kids.
Yeah.
And in my teens and my 20s, and I know this about myself. This is my full self. I don't want to have kids. And that's so fair. Quote, we found no evidence that older child-free adults experience any more life regret than older parents, according to Jennifer Watley-Neal, PhD, a professor of psychology at Michigan State University, and study co-author in a statement said, quote, in fact, older parents were slightly more likely to want to change something about their life. So you might be more likely to regret having kids than not having kids. Indeed, researchers estimate that in developed countries, 5 to 14% of parents say that if they could turn back time, they would choose to be child-free.
Holy shit. That's
Between
brutal.
5 and 14%. So, like, the stats in this are kind of all over the place because, of course, they are, but, like,
my sister does have this magnet that her friend got her that always makes me laugh every time I go to her house. It says something like, we've decided not to have kids. We haven't told them yet. And I'm like, that is brutal.
We haven't told them
We
yet.
haven't told them yet. We
That's
decided
fucking
not
funny.
to have kids.
And then another interesting thing that I read in this that I didn't slap into my segment, one of the, I think it was the chapel researcher said, if you are really on the fence and you can't decide whether to have kids, just have one. Because like when you dig into the numbers, it's not like the people who had one kid, like the whole only child syndrome is not a real thing. There is no research to back up the claim that they're any more lonely or conceited or selfish or anything like that. And she was kind of saying that, like, it's not necessarily people who have one kid, it's people who have, like,
A bunch.
kids.
Yeah, multiple
is where
kids.
the regret comes.
Which is crazy work.
I know.
What are y'all doing? They can get a friend at school, at the daycare
Oh my
that you
God.
pay $500 a week for.
Fucking for real. What am I paying for if it's not a friend?
Yeah. I'm already paying for a friend. I don't want it to live in my house.
No.
Get out.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody go home.
So anyway,
I have a lot of friends who just had one and do not have interest in having more. And they're loving it.
my current plan is to have this one, the one that I have, and then when I get older and hopefully more financial secure, then I can adopt. It would give June time to run through her bullshit.
Yeah.
And then if I still maybe am thinking about it in 10 years, then that's great. But right now, oh my God, I had such a fucking multiple mental breakdowns last week. I'm not doing that again anytime soon.
No.
With 2 kids?
No.
What are you people thinking? What's wrong with you? Get help.
We are not judgmental at all about anybody's choice.
But what the fuck are you doing?
We're not judgmental. We're genuinely confused and scared.
And concerned.
We're just worried about
judgment. I'm just worried about you.
Oh God. Incredible. Well, thank you for sharing your concerns. They were indeed eye-opening.
Yeah. So I don't know if I really told you anything new. I hope I did.
I thought it
hope-
was an interesting and thought-provoking conversation, and I really appreciated it. So thank you.
I'm glad that it was more of a conversation than just like, I'm going to read through all these stats because it's not black and white and everyone is going to make their own decision. And if you have more than one, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking about. But like, that's okay. That's your decision.
There isn't a wrong decision except for having multiple children. What the fuck are you thinking?
There's a wrong decision except for...
As both of us sit here who have like these incredibly beautiful relationships with our own sisters that like, thank God we have.
Oh yeah, I love my sister.
You're nuts.
But that was a different time.
It was a different time. In this,
We
in
no
esta
longer have-
economia, absolutely not.
We no longer have farms to sustain
No.
the way that we did in 1990.
Yes. Yes, that's the only reason you were born.
Yeah. I wasn't born in 90, by the way.
No, you were not.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Let's take another quick break. Oh, God, I'm burping to hear a word from our sponsors.
okay. Let's do it. We'll be right back.
Okay, so I warned you.
We both warned you.
I've got our fan picker case, and it's gnarly. So I'm just gonna dive right in. On the afternoon of Monday, April 22nd, 2024, the community of West Richland, Washington was traumatized.
Uh-oh.
Just as classes were letting out at William Wiley Elementary School, a gunman wearing black clothing and a black hat opened fire. Now, it
Oh
was
my
not a
God.
school shooting situation. It was a targeted murder in such a horrific place.
Okay.
The victim was Amber Marie Rodriguez, who was a 31-year-old paraeducator and a mother of two who was shot and killed in front of her 9-year-old son outside of his school.
Jesus.
The primary suspect was her ex-husband, 39-year-old Elias Huizar. But as police began their investigation, they realized this was only the beginning of a much larger nightmare. Hours after the school shooting, detectives served a search warrant at Huizar's residence. There, they made a second gruesome discovery. They found the body of 17-year-old Angelica Santos. Angelica was described as Huizar's girlfriend, 17 to his 39,
Right.
and was the mother of his 1-year-old son, Roman Santos.
Oh my God.
And Roman, who was supposed to have been home with Angelica, was nowhere to be found.
Oh no.
With 2 women dead and a baby missing, the Washington State Patrol issued a high-priority Amber Alert. Authorities warned that Huizar, a former Yakima police officer,
Okay.
was armed, dangerous, and likely headed toward Mexico. As the manhunt intensified, investigators looked into Huizar's past, revealing a disturbing pattern of behavior and quote-unquote multiple system failures, which we know is just coded language for the powers that be don't give a fuck about you, and eventually they actually traffic children themselves, so why the fuck would we care about a pattern of violence enough to actually do anything about it before people die? But, you know, I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Oh, everything's fine. And there's nothing in current events that would at all inflame
Any of this.
our feelings about this.
Huizar had served with the Yakima Police Department from 2013 until 2022, but resigned immediately following a disciplinary investigation involving a family household member. And these disciplinary investigations are fucked up because that is not the same as something being on your criminal record. And then he was able to get a job elsewhere that was bad. Okay, so the investigation
In which he was a cop.
No, he got a job after resigning in disgrace from being a cop as a substitute teacher in schools.
No.
Because all of this stuff wasn't on his record. Because it was just a disciplinary investigation that led to no arrest within the police department.
So the only thing on his record at this point
Is
was
a resignation. from the police
It
department.
was. Oh God. Okay. All right. Great.
Like on his like record that would show up in a background check, it just shows where he worked. It doesn't
wouldn't
show like
the investigation, including the family member or whatever.
I don't think so, because it was a disciplinary investigation that the police department. It was not on his background check. We'll get to it. And that's because it's one of those internal investigations. And then the police department goes, there's no wrongdoing here. So there's no charges. So you don't have on like your criminal record that you were necessarily investigated for something if you never got charged with anything.
Right. Ugh.
So the investigation, which began in late 2021, uncovered the following details. Prior relationship with a minor, which was multiple times. So investigators discovered that Huizar had a sexual relationship with Amber Marie Rodriguez, the woman that he later married and ultimately killed. So this woman who was shot in front of her son outside of the school is Huizar's ex-wife. And they were 7 years apart, and he began that relationship with her when she was 17 and he was 24.
Is her 9-year-old who witnessed this his son?
No.
Okay.
They, as far as I know, they did not have children together. They ended up getting divorced, and that child was from a different relationship.
Okay.
The relationship that he had with Amber occurred before he had joined the police force, and while it was like discussed, he hadn't gotten like charges for it. So the investigation kind of uncovered, hold on, this is weird. Your ex-wife was 17 when y'all got together. So Huizar had met Angelica Santos, the 17-year-old girl that was found dead at his home after he and Amber split up. And he met her again before, no, I think after maybe he was in the police department, but he met Angelica Santos while he was working as a school resource officer at her middle school. So that's a job that he got after resigning, quote unquote, from the police department.
Mm-hmm.
And then within like a couple years of meeting her, he's now killed 2 people and kidnapped their son.
Jesus.
He met her when she was like 15 or 14, like working at their middle school. Despite rumors of their relationship surfacing as early as 2019, school officials at the time had vouched for his character. Because of the age difference, authorities considered charging Huizar with first-degree sexual misconduct with a minor for his first relationship with Amber, the woman that he killed outside of the school. But a detective with the Union Gap Police Department who handled the criminal portion of the probe to avoid a conflict of interest stated that he could not establish the probable cause necessary to sustain the charge. And that was before...
Because he was his former boss?
I guess.
Oh my God.
But either way, whoever looked into this original relationship with Amber before he was not fired, but before he resigned from the police department and then went to become a resource officer at a middle school, they looked at that relationship with Amber and were like, this is weird, but we don't have enough to charge you with it. And so that was left. But the investigation also looked into a second allegation involving Huizar and a teenager in North Dakota while he was in college. This specific allegation was deemed unfounded because the age difference between them was only 2 years, which did not meet the state's legal requirement for a child rape charge. So that's a second red flag that they were like, we can't bring charges about this.
Okay.
During the 2021 probe, the now murdered Amber Rodriguez, his ex-wife, told investigators that Huizar was, quote, not of sound mind, that he heard voices and was short-tempered and controlling. She expressed concern for her safety and feared he would harm her or her son. Though she eventually secured a 1-year protection order, her legal representative noted that Amber knew it was just paper and had even taken a job at her son's school specifically to keep an eye on him for safety. And that's where he killed her, at her job.
Oh,
in front of her
God.
son.
Her job and her son's school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Of course, YPD Chief Matt Murray stated the investigation's findings did not constitute a firing offense from the police department. But Huizar resigned following the internal affairs probe and was declared ineligible to be rehired by the department. So they probably were like, you should just resign in disgrace. Otherwise, this is going to be a whole thing. And he probably was like, okay, fine, I will. Despite this history, he later lied on an application for substitute teaching positions in the Richland School District, claiming he had never been the subject of misconduct allegations. So he was working as a substitute teacher during the 2022 and 2022 to 2023 school years.
This was before he shot a woman at school, right?
But barely a year before he shot a woman. He was still working in schools as a sub by 2023.
That's so fucking alarming.
I know. This is from NBC News. The district said it had received references from one of Huizar's former employers, Franklin Middle School in the Yakima School District, where he was a school resource officer. The principal and vice principal of Franklin described Huizar as a very good and excellent candidate, the Richland spokesperson said.
Good and excellent.
Yep. The Yakima School District did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Huizar also completed a drug screening and was fingerprinted, and he passed a mandatory 8-hour STEDI sub-skills training course, the Richland District spokesperson said. The spokesperson said he lied on his application and answered no to questions about whether he had ever been the subject of misconduct allegations or resigned while allegations were pending. The district said in a statement that it was, quote, extremely disheartened that information about Mr. Huizar's past was not disclosed to us. Quote, no past investigations or allegations appeared in Mr. Huizar's background checks before he was hired, and nothing was disclosed by Mr. Huizar. And that's from the Richland School District. We take the process of hiring staff very seriously and pride ourselves on the quality and character of our staff members. Now, I'm not blaming the school because, again, this was an internal investigation within a police department without any charges, so it wouldn't show up.
Yeah, how would they have even known?
They wouldn't have known. But it's like, this is a ripple effect of lack of accountability and lack of caring about the well-being of like women and girls and just children in general that then allowed this man to go back into schools when he had worked in schools prior and met his wife, who would become his wife, who then he murdered after they got divorced.
Child who would become his wife.
Yes, child who would become his wife. It's like
unfucking believable.
I can't.
It's so gross.
So at the time of the murders, this guy was also under conditional freedom for recent charges of rape of a child.
What the fuck? How much does this man need to get away with?
This breaks my heart because the person who came forward, and we may never know the motive, but the person who came forward, and I believe this is the motive for why he killed both of these women, was Angelica Santos, the mother of his son. So in February of 2024, just 2 months before the murders, Huizar was arrested and charged with third-degree rape of a child and second-degree rape. According to court filings, the investigation began after two teenagers went to the police in early February. A 17-year-old girl, later identified as Angelica Santos, the teenage mother of his child, alleged that after the three, so she and another friend who was not named, we're going to, continue to protect her identity. Angelica came forward and said that she and this friend had been drinking alcohol with Huizar after school or whatever. And Angelica, woke up to find Huizar performing oral sex on her 16-year-old friend who had passed out.
Ugh.
Huizar was also charged with rape in connection to getting Angelica Santos pregnant when she was 15 years old. She had the baby at 16, and their son Roman was a year old at the time of her murder and now manhunt when he was kidnapped.
Okay. So she was reporting the father of her child for assaulting her friend.
Yep. I think it...
After their son was already a year old.
Yes. And again, we don't know because she is gone, and we'll get to what the deal is with him. But I have to imagine... First of all, imagine the bravery that this must have taken, because she'd been in a relationship with this man for a few years. They have a child together. We're about to get to that.
She's risking a lot.
And then it's like, it's like that. I don't know. I'm seeing this so much right now, but that idea that she had been in this situation for long enough now that she had become accustomed to it and then saw that he was harming her friend and was like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Yeah.
And
it's
came
not
forward,
about me.
And
the second it's about someone I love, then like all bets are off.
yeah, it's just heartbreaking. And then 2 months after she came forward and exposed him for who he really fucking was, which we already knew, because if we had given a shit about Amber, he wouldn't have never had access to Angelica. But like, she risked everything and he took her life. And I think that this is why. I think it's because she came forward and now he was being charged. Now he was in trouble for real. He'd weaseled his way out of it up until now. Following his February arrest, Huizar was released from custody after posting a $200,000 bond. This status of conditional freedom meant he was awaiting trial while still living in the community. And apparently he was spiraling under all of this legal pressure in the weeks leading up to the murders. Huizar reportedly became extremely controlling of Angelica, with her mother stating that whenever she was with her family, he would force her to wear an Apple Airpod in one ear with him on the phone so that he could listen to her conversations in real time and also track her location.
Oh, ew.
He allegedly used this.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's horrifying. He allegedly used this method to ensure that she was not saying anything negative about him or disclosing sensitive details regarding the pending rape case to her family. This is again from NBC News. 2 days before she died, her mother, Tiffany Penalosa, said, Huizar became angry when Angelica refused to let him eavesdrop on a conversation she was having with her grandmother. Quote, that made him mad. He called her at least a minimum of 20 times, back to back to back, because she wasn't answering his calls, she said. And I was like, are you sure it's a good idea for you to go home? Because they were living together with their son. And she goes, no, I talked to him. He's still mad, but he's not mad where he'll do anything. Throughout the relationship, Santos had tried to distance herself from Huizar, her mother said, but she struggled with the idea of breaking up her family. Quote, she had this vision for her son that he'd have this perfect little family. And so as much as she was not okay with everything, she wanted to be able to give her son everything that she didn't have. So she put up with a lot of things that were not okay. The family tried to intervene, Penalosa said. Santos's grandmother had been trying to find resources that could help when she was killed. Quote, he had her so brainwashed into believing so much stuff that wasn't real. He had her believing that they were going to be the perfect family. He got her out of Yakima into a better living environment and a better place to raise the baby. She was with him, but she was hesitant at the same time. In the wake of these murders and the publicized manhunt for Huizar, fortunately, a lot of tips came in, and they were pretty quick to be able to locate him. Early on, like the Tuesday after the murders, a convenience store clerk in Portland, Oregon, reported seeing a man that matched Huizar's description and a car that matched the description with a child in the backseat.
Oh, shit.
So though police were not able to get to that convenience store in time, the net was definitely closing. They knew what direction he was heading, and they called in state police who intercepted him, essentially found him on Interstate 5 near Eugene, Oregon. And then Oregon State Police, they found his car, and there was a high-speed chase. During the pursuit, there was an exchange of gunfire between Huizar and the troopers.
Oh my God.
The car...
While he was driving?
While he was driving, I guess. The car crashed. Like, he lost control of his car. It did hit a commercial vehicle and then spun out into the median.
Ooh.
Officers approached the vehicle, and as they were walking up, Elias Huizar took his own life with the gun that he had been using to shoot at the cops, with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head in the driver's seat of the car.
Was the baby okay?
Yes. In the backseat of the crashed car, troopers found 1-year-old Roman Santos physically unharmed, but frankly, I can't even imagine the trauma that this sweet baby endured and will continue to have to navigate as he grows up, not only without his mother.
He probably witnessed both of them.
Yeah, but and you know, it's like there's all those schools of thought on he's one, what will he remember? But like his life is shaped by trauma regardless of what he will be able to recall from his memory.
And one day he's going to learn.
Which hopefully is nothing.
Yeah, I pray to God he didn't see everything, but like, I think it's more likely that he did. And he's going to grow up to find out why his mom isn't here and how he was conceived and what a monster his father was. It's just like unimaginable. I can't imagine how destructive to just like your foundation of like who you are as a person, to grow up just with all of these traumatic circumstances surrounding literally your entire life, and to have to carry
your whole
that
existence,
your
the
whole
reason
existence,
you're here,
to have to carry that from the time you were a little baby is just.
I hope
I don't
that
have words
child
for it.
has the funding for as much.
I know, so
therapy.
much support.
Oh boy,
I know. While the immediate threat ended on that Oregon highway, the world was left grappling with how a man with such a documented history of predatory behavior was allowed to remain free to keep targeting and harming children.
Yeah.
And we don't really, I mean, we have the answers to that we have, right? What they call systemic failures. And like Lucy and I have both said multiple times in this episode, the Epstein of it all is obviously shaping how we respond to this. And while this case is not a direct tie to all of the Epstein shit that we're seeing right now, we can't separate them because this is not, we can't think for 1 second that this isn't systemically connected. And like, so that's what I'm going to end it with this. I'm going to end it by saying it. That like we have failed our children for centuries, literally since we stole this land via indigenous genocide, which included and still includes to this day sterilization of indigenous women and mass murder of indigenous children in boarding schools. We co-conspirated the largest human trafficking operation in history via the transatlantic slave trade. And like we as a society have long since normalized sexual assault on women and children and continue to uphold systems that not only protect, but build up Epstein to massive positions of power, some of the most monstrous fucking people imaginable. And
that's just in our area of the world.
Yes. So if we don't lower the fucking bar of what we tolerate as a society, we will never get this shit right. And like, we talk about this all the time. Like, we can start by no longer being surprised to learn that this shit goes on because it's been going on. Like, it's woven into the fabric of American history. And we have been at these crossroads before where we're like, is this the moment we're going to fucking do something about this and not let this shit continue? And now here we are again. And all I can hope and say and try is to believe that as a society, we can be ready to shut it the fuck down. And that like, that's going to take white people unpacking that shit and our complicity in all of this shit. And I know that sounds like such a throwaway thing, or it's like, okay, everybody just be anti-racist and then the world is fine. But like, it really does alter everything we have learned about America has been through the lens of whiteness, and it's not the truth. And if we don't grapple with that shit and like own our history, then it's doomed to repeat itself. Of course, we can't dismantle what we are like anesthetized to. And it has to fucking stop. So like, I hope that this shit is radicalizing people, and that while it's radicalizing us, we also allow those floodgates to open to everything that allowed it to get to where it is now. Because that's the shit that we have to learn, and so that we don't keep fucking doing it. Because otherwise we're not going to change anything. And there will always be another Trump and another Epstein and another pocket of billionaires that are going to protect each other. There's always going to be police departments that go, we found this shady shit in this internal investigation, but it doesn't look like we can do anything about it. Why don't you resign in disgrace so we all keep our hands clean, and then sure, go work at that school.
Yeah. So we can all get back to normal.
Yep. But is that the normal we want to fucking get back to? I don't think so. I fucking hope not.
I'm ashamed to admit that I even realized that was our normal.
Yeah.
And now that we know, let's burn it down and build something different for the love of God.
Yeah. The idea that like oh, if we bring charges against everybody in the Epstein files, there will be collapse of the government. You think that we care? Fucking collapse
Do you
it
think
then. Bye.
Doesn't sound good.
We don't want it. We don't fucking want it. Bye-bye.
It's like people who are like, oh yeah, well, Bill Clinton's in the files.
Good.
Okay.
Get him too. Guillotine. I don't care.
If Obama was in the files, go get him too.
If fucking
like, get all
Celine
the people
Dion
who
was
were
in the
this-
files, I'd be like, okay, well, it was a good run. Bye. Like
Diane Keaton. Go get her. I mean, she's dead, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. It's just, it's so crazy. So I don't know, y'all. That's.
I really would encourage if no qualifier. I encourage everyone to go listen to that Behind the Bastards episode. It is about Thomas Thistlewood, and I looked it up. It came out in November of 2025.
Because
So it's a few eps back, but it is a two-parter, and it is so disturbing. But when you listen to it and are able to put that in historical context and connect it to untold numbers of the same fucking song and dance throughout our entire history beyond the United States. This is a human fucking problem.
yeah.
But the sooner you realize that and put it into context, and then you go back and look at the Epstein shit, it will hopefully make you less shocked and more aware that, like, this is going to take some intense, intentional, deep reckoning
Yup.
among all of us, especially white people.
And recognizing that there is a reason why the Epstein files are so shocking is that, like, among these rich white elites, a lot of their victims were white. They were predominantly white. So they're getting attention and hope, you know, not in the US right now under the current fucking government, but like it is nice to see other governments that are taking these files seriously and like dealing with their own. But like stuff like this has been, I mean, in just a few years ago, it was what, like 71,000 young black like girls, like children and girls were missing in the United States, but 9 out of 10 of them had been classified as runaways. So there were no Amber Alerts, no missing
Active
persons alerts.
investigating.
Yeah, like you don't think that there's already fucking human trafficking happening to like Black, brown, indigenous, and children of color here all the fucking time. It's absolutely happening all the fucking time. But this is like rich, powerful people in this context with a lot of white victims. And so we're looking at it differently. And like we need to grapple with that and move forward not doing that shit anymore. All of it deserves attention. All of it deserves attention. Not just what's happening now, which also fucking deserves our attention. And it's so much to pay attention to. So like pace yourself. I'm spiraling.
Pacing ourselves is the name of the game though, because
It's a marathon. We'll be dismantling this shit until we die and hopefully handing those tools to the next generation so they can continue to dismantle it. And that is why raising your kids to be anti-racist and be part of liberation is an act of resistance. So
if you choose to have kids, and if you don't, that's okay too. Thanks, Fiona, for your episode topic pick.
Fiona.
Is that her name? Sophia.
Nope, it's Sophia. Princess
There was an F in
Fiona.
there. There was an F in there.
We did it.
There's an F in here too.
We love you. We appreciate you. We're
also,
sorry.
not June being a paid actor trying to bust down the door while you were doing your set.
It was like, I'm not going to draw attention to it because I'm literally talking about like the most heinous shit.
We were at a very intense time of your segment, so I didn't want to say anything either. But like that door was a banging.
We saw it. If you're
my
watching us on
God.
YouTube, you also probably saw it. All right.
Thank you so much for listening. And hopefully next week we have something a little bit lighter.
Please, God.
Oh, nope, we don't.
We might need to move some things to the calendar.
We might move some things around.
We're fine.
Oh my God, I gotta scroll way down to find something reasonable.
Feral Hogs Part 3 it is. The Japanese nuclear hogs.
No,
Just gonna do
they're
a
having
whole
too much sex.
We're just
Sex.
We're gonna have a whole episode about these radiated horny hogs.
nuclear frogs. God damn.
Because
okay.
that's a slice of reality that we can deal with right now.
For real, bring on the house.
Bring on the house.
All right, we love you. Hang in there. Don't have kids or do. Whatever.
Whatever, we don't care. Do whatever you want.
Bye.
Bye-bye!
Like what you see? Check out more episodes and become a member to unlock exclusive content.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye.